Never thought I'd have to spend another night in here again. They stripped me of all my evidence, so were painstakingly gathered. Even if they did let me keep Casey Yatagarasu pin. Can't help but worry about her. They better be treating her well. Come on, let's go. You've got a visitor. A visitor? Who? Probably Eddie? Oh, Gumshoe. Someone by the name of Dick Gumshoe. Want me to send him away? No. So I'm not sure what to even say to him. Wait there. They're leaving me unsupervised. Forgive the intrusion. Oh, it's her. What? Oh, we were lied to. It wasn't Gumshoe. It's Gavel. Judge Gavel. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, take a seat. What are you doing here? I was told it was Detective Gumshoe. I imagined you wouldn't come if you knew it was me. What could she possibly want from me now? Suppose I better find out. Miss Faraday is currently being interrogated about her involvement in the murder. You and the committee. You know what you're doing, do you? You know that the wrongful arrest and persecution of an innocent person is beyond reprehensible. That's quite a slanderous remark. I would ask that you frame your outburst with a little more care. I'm in jail right now. I don't give a crap. I will condemn you all I want. This is stupid. Besides, she is not innocent. You merely wish that she is. You can't say that. You don't have any conclusive proof. Nor do you have conclusive proof to the contrary. So let's not retrieve this old topic again. She will go to trial, and the goddess will pass her judgment. There is nothing you can do to stop that. And there is nothing more to say on the subject. Instead, let us speak of the matter at hand. I don't trust you, woman. You may not be aware of this, but you're only permitted to meet with specially approved visitors. So I'm to be treated like a dangerous criminal, am I? I suppose my reputation has rather plummeted. It has indeed. For you, of course, and your friends. That attorney and the other girl were raising quite the fuss earlier. Fender and Emma. I saw them launch some extremely heated words at one of the guards. No, you didn't. You may think the goddess in that part, or even she is too busy to deal with each and every infraction. They will not be punished for their bad behavior. Did you come here just to chit-chat with me? You must have a lot of time on your hands. Oh, speaking of which, Miss Von Karma is continuing her investigation where you left off. I just thought you would like to know. I figured you'd be worried about how things they were doing. I hate to admit it, but she read me like a book. What is your problem, woman? Let's cut to the chase, Your Honor. Why are you really here? I'm here simply to talk, nothing more. There's something I wish to know about you. Me? Yes. Who else? Objectively speaking, you are highly intelligent and quick-witted. And and a born prosecutor at that. Please, Judge Cavell. Your sarcastic praise is but salt on my wounds. But I sincerely mean every word, Mr. Edgeworth, and it is why I fail to understand you. Take this latest case, for example. You are up against the very committee itself. You had no hope of succeeding. Even a child could have seen that, and yet... I don't imagine the old me would have been so reckless. The old me had power. Because of that, I thought that justice was always on my side. Just as you, the committee, believe now. But a certain person changed my mind. In a trial. He made me reckon with my selfish and screwed sense of justice. And once the scales had fallen upon my eyes, I began to look at people differently. I thought that I was only able to make an effective prosecutor thanks to the effort of those around me. Detective Gumshoe, the many investigative officers of the force, and even Kay. It changed me. The degree to which it changed me still surprises me to this day. I see. Thank you. I feel that perhaps I understand you a little better now. You understand me? I highly doubt it. Someone who is so focused on forcing their idea of justice into others can't possibly see what I see. Is that so? Is that what you truly believe? I will say one thing. This has been a very interesting conversation. That is all. Before I go, there's one remaining matter. I was asked to inform you that the date of your hearing has been confirmed. It will be held today, in the trial chamber. The committee sends its warmest regards. If that was all you had to tell me, you could have just sent a message. And entrust a goddess's word to another? That wouldn't do now, would it? Until then, Mr. Edgeworth, I'll see you very shortly. Very basic bed. Can't say it was very comfortable to sleep on, however. I imagine Detective Gumshoe would sleep soundly on it, nevertheless, loudly snoring all the while. I suppose we'll probably never get to work together again. But I don't have any regrets about the bed I've made. I will follow my own path to the end. I need to go to the bathroom. There's a note on the wall next to the toilet. Sorry, we're currently out of toilet paper. Please make the necessary mental preparations before using the toilet. Oh dear gosh. What sort of mental preparations can one even make? There's a menu here on the table. Seems that detainees are able to pay to have their meals brought to their cells. What looks good? Spaghetti and mac and cheese lunch. Add linguine for only $1. Basmati and brown rice special for a limited time only. Add regular white rice at no extra cost. It's probably for the best that I'm not very hungry. I barely spent any time in here, and I can already feel my personal appearance slipping. I may have given up my badge, but I mustn't give up on myself. My collar. It's slightly creased. There. A tidy outside begets a tidy inside. Which is why it's more important now than ever to take care of myself. There's a poster in the corridor outside. We regret to announce that due to the warden's arrest, the Die and Destiny game will be discontinued. Inmates will no longer need to roll a dice every morning to determine their meals for the day. Oh, good grief. We wholeheartedly apologize to those who were looking forward to their daily casting of the die. Did anyone really need an apology for cessation of such a ridiculous idea in the first place? Do I have another visitor? Okay. Oh, thank goodness you seem alright. That's a load off my mind. Ah, such a warm, heartwarming scene. It's enough to make a grown man cry. But you're still not your usual cheery. I mean, you have to say positive, Kate. You didn't do anything wrong. In fact, I guarantee you didn't. No, you have to let it go. I'm a murderer. I know that now. But you're not. You can't be. Why don't you have any faith in yourself? How can I, Mr. Edgeworth? When there's no me left to believe in. None at all. I don't think that's true. Before you lost your memory, we've spent quite a bit of time together. And I dare say you left quite an impression on me. So you see, there's still plenty of you left. That's why I believe in you so much. In your innocence, and why you should believe in yourself too. Thank you. But I can't. It would just cause more pain for the both of us. Please, you have to forget her. Forget the Kay. She's gone. Kay, no. You remind me of my youngest self, you know? So noble, so bold. This is the justice you and the committee stand for. Justice? I suppose you could call it that. What is he up to? Why is he going to such lengths to control everything? Can't take the feeling that something is very wrong here. Some hidden agenda at play. It's no time to second guess myself. I'm gonna find out what it is. It's now or never. Well then, my boy, I suppose it should wait. Why is the chairman so intent on seeing Kay charged with murder? Doesn't make any sense. There must be some rhyme or reason to this madness. Ooh. Come on, Milesy boy, I'm a busy, important man. Can't be wasting my precious time talking to you. The only way out of our current predicament is through the chairman winner. There's so much to ask and so little time. Start by trying to find out why he rushed to have Kay arrested so quickly. Can't just let this happen. I'm getting answers. If it's the last thing I do. Mind chest, commence! Why were you so keen to push through Kay's arrest? I've yet to hear a satisfactory explanation. An explanation? I'm not entirely sure what you mean. Don't give me that. You know exactly what I mean. Tut tut. I advise you moderate your tone, dear boy. Need I remind you of your position? I don't feel like either of those would make any sense. And suppose you did let your friend go free. What then, What do you mean, what then? Think of how that would look on my boy. Look, my boy. And who would have taken the blame? Me, that's who. You're right to keep your mouth shut. That way you won't say anything foolish. Sorry, but I can't stay silent forever. I will cause innocence in doubt. Oh, you're breaking my heart. Oh, just look at the flood of tears. Spill it out. Please, just leave it alone, will you? Things will come along nicely till you interfere. Oh? Oh? Coming along nicely. That's a pretty strange way of putting it. It's almost as if you wanted Kay's arrest to happen. It certainly doesn't sound like the statement of an impartial representative of the law. You think so? Well, that wasn't my intention. Had it occurred to you that you might just be overthinking things a little? Chairman Winner certainly knows how to dodge a question. But it doesn't change the fact that serious doubts remain concerning Kay's arrest. Next, when you press him whether he really believes the investigation was sufficient. Can't allow any of his statements to go unexamined, no matter how trivial they may seem. One of them may just give me the breakthrough we need. How much time was spent on your investigation altogether? Well, now, let's see. You know what? I'm not sure. I can't remember. And I'm sure you can. You won't bluster your way out of this one. It's not a bluster, my boy. Honestly, I don't recall. It's a problem when you get to my age, you see. How old is he? Oh, I can't pull up real fast, dang it. Why, I even forget my own son's name sometimes. Never mind your fool of a son. Answer me. How long did you spend on the investigation? You're right, of course. The boy's a fool. I never meant for him to grow up like that. Oh, woe is me. He's only too happy to derail the conversation no matter where I take it. Force of it. Let's try it with another tack for now. You can hardly say that your investigation was sufficient. And you're the one who called the shots, weren't you? Including your decision to have Kay arrested. Oh, I'm afraid I'm nowhere near influential as you think, dear Poe. You're the chairman of the committee. It doesn't get more influential than that. Not that I care about such things. You do. It's enough to drive an old man to tears. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not the differential type. Well, if you're going to insist on being so blunt, then I'm afraid you won't be seeing your prosecutor back anytime soon. Let me make something clear once and for all. That badge isn't the be-all end-all for me. Far from it. I'm not concerned with the titles or roles. Even you must understand that much. So young, so very young. A word of advice, Miles, from somebody who's been around the block. You're hopelessly naive little boy. Idiotically so. Well, that certainly got under his skin. Might be less guarded in his answers while he's in this state. Now's my chance. How much time was spent on your investigation altogether? Okay. Shit. Are these the same? Well, maybe you don't know your place after all. What's the matter, scared? Hardly. I was just thinking about how best to proceed. Getting an answer from the elderly requires sensitivity. They can get quite emotional after all. You have no common sense whatsoever, do you? Don't you understand? Your fate rests in my hands. Let's say you do manage to get some answers from me. There's nothing you can do with them. So why not give it up, dear boy? No. And why not? It's simple, because I'm not about to let the truth escape me. Interesting. I'm beginning to see what makes you tick. What you're doing is pointless. Tragically and miserably pointless. Please, just give up. She's guilty. The decision has been made. The decision's been made. Once again, your choice of words intrigues me. It's almost as if Kay's guilt has already been determined before her arrest. What are you implying? I'm implying that things haven't gone as they normally should. In fact, everything that has proceeded as if Kay's arrest was the end goal, right from the very start. Well, Chairman Winner, was it? That's certainly an intriguing theory. But it's also a complete work of fiction, and I'm afraid I don't have time for such flights of fancy. I think it's time we brought this shabby little farce to an end, don't you? No, he's trying to make an escape. We must confirm the legality of Kay's arrest before he slips away. It's faint. The truth is finally beginning to emerge. We're not about to let this opportunity pass me by. Wait, we're not done yet. I'm tired of all this talking, so make it brief, will you? Who gave the order? Who gave the order? Who decided that Kay should be arrested? You know, I can't seem to remember. Don't you ever get old, Miles, my boy. It wreaks havoc on memory. Okay, I need to do the other one. Based on everything I've heard from you so far, it's clear that Kay's arrest is entirely unfounded. Yes, I think we're all familiar with the particular refrain of yours by now. But I'm afraid it doesn't matter either way. You don't have what it takes to secure her release anyhow. How dare you take this lightly, as a man of the law? My, aren't you a rude little boy? But my fuse is only so long. Honestly speaking, I don't have time to waste on every last question you can dream up. I have certain responsibilities to attend to, you know. I really am quite a busy man. Or are you just pretending to be busy? That's an awful thing to say to a fragile old man. I work hard as I should at my age. I ask you, my boy, why could you even hope to accomplish by putting up such a pretense? You obviously don't want to talk about the case anymore. That's why you're so keen to get out of this conversation, isn't it? It's just so tragic. It really is. That you would suspect me of such things. It's not a suspicion, it's a certainty. There are no clear grounds to which to base Kay's arrest for the start. Now, my boy, let's not get carried away. There are plenty of evidence to support our case. The mask, the letter, the corsage, they're all in her possession. They shouldn't know about her letter. We never told them. Hey, DK. Wasn't enough to prove her guilt, I'd say. Those are. What's the matter? Still going to come up with a few ways to explain every single way. Sure, I can't counter your argument right now, but you did let something valuable slip. Suspicious detailed knowledge of the evidence against Kay. You routed off that list, like he knew it inside out. I think it might prove to be a valuable clue. So now we need to do the who gave the order. Who gave the order? We've done this. Time to deploy my clue. I appreciate if you'd stop playing the old man card. You remember the details of the evidence against Kate pretty clearly. Perhaps your memory didn't fail you only when it was convenient. I'd be more inclined to believe you. So let me ask you again. Who gave the order for Kay's arrest? You're a sharp one, I'll give you that. My son could learn a thing or two from you. He wasn't such an incurable numbskull. That is a tragedy. It is a tragedy, really. I don't want to hear about your son. I want to know who authorized the arrest. You're very mean. You know that, don't you? The arrest, you say? The order was given by. It's so freaking obvious this guy is sus as all ghetto. Come now, Chairman Winner. We both know it was you. Alright, you got me. You make it sound like it was somehow a bad thing, though. But I have a reputation to uphold, so I guess I better clear up this little misunderstanding. I'll entertain your questions for a few more minutes. Let's see if I can put your mind at ease. The key thing to do now is to establish how intimately he knows the details of the case. I'll just have to ask the right questions. The end game is hand. We're but a few moves away from the truth. You seem to know the case in quite some detail. I know about a lot of things, my boy. I'm just smart like that. Too bad the same can't be said about the way you handled Kay's arrest. I'm a very busy man. Do try to remember that I can bring this little chat to an end whenever I choose. It's only taken so long because you won't give me a straight answer to any of my questions. If only you'd stop giving me the runaround, we'd be done already. So let's try this again. You seem to know the details of the case quite intimately. Why is that? Because I read the case file. Not exactly the most thrilling use of my time, but of course, it's part of the job. I have to be a good role model. I can't be slacking. It can be so hard. So hard. But I had some time on my hands, so I read the whole thing cover to cover. That's strange. I could have sworn you just told me you were a very busy man. I'd say there are cracks are finally starting to show, wouldn't you? You're so keen on being upstanding leader, you can start by releasing K, you know. You really don't give up, do you? It's a moving sight, indeed, my boy. But a tragic one, too. After all your efforts are for naught. I'm afraid your little friend was found unconscious near the scene of the crime. We got to hear much about the circumstances under which Kay was found. She was lying unconscious in the storeroom, correct? Not always. But also, he's not sweating, he's teary-eyed. He's very emotional. He's so sad. That's right, although I'm not at liberty to tell you how I know that. He knows everything we didn't. In fact, he seems to be aware of any tiny detail about this case. This could be a valuable clue. The suspect, Kay Faraday. How much do you know about her exactly? I know she's a suspect. Aside from that, not much else. Cross my heart, but it's true. Time Time to deploy my clue. Sorry, but the more you tell me, the less sense your story makes. For one thing, you know the details that even those investigating the scene were not aware of. Why is that? Just how much do you really know, Chairman Winner? There's that intimidating face you like to make again. Well, to complete this game, how do you like me now? He's got a lighter. Of course he's fired. I do know to have to commend you on your doggedness. This really is something. I'll take that as a compliment. Take it however you like. Wrap this up, will you? I just don't have the stamina anymore. She's the culprit, the only possible suspect. Just accept that already. How much more evidence do you want us to load her down with, for God's sake? Load her down with. Yet another interesting turn of phrase. One that makes it sound a lot like the items Kay was carrying might have been foisted upon her. Impressive. You really do pay attention, don't you? It's no wonder they used to call you a prodigy, Mr. Ex-Prosecutor. I think you know the answer to your own question by now. Why don't you just go ahead and say it? I want to hear it from you. It's finally time to shed light on the truth. All that's left is to play one last move. Kay is innocent. No, my boy. That's just clumsy. Anyone can blurt out baseless assertion like that, even a disregard superstar prosecutor. Time to deploy my clue. Kay was framed. The true culprit set it all up so she would take the fall instead. That is my answer, and I won't let you deny it any longer. I was waiting for that. It's like, why isn't his beard catching on fire? It's like, his beard needs to be catching on fire with all that flame, and there you go. My, you really are a sharp one. It's a bit of a shame you chose to hand in your badge. I admit it, you're right on all accounts. And that's checkmate. My best checkmate. You knew Kay wasn't the real murderer, and yet you still had her arrested. What's worse, you thought that you could get away with it. Well, you won't. Not if I can help it. Mr. Edwards, you're in jail. What can you do? There you go with that naivete again, my boy. I guess that was always your problem. With the girl arrested and a conviction secured, this whole mess goes away. And that's what will happen. But whose interest does a conclusion like that serve? The committee's, I suppose. And mine. You know, listening to you just now, well, it got me into tears flowing, I have to say. It was poignant and heartfelt and sincere and utterly infuriating. Look, I'm not perfect, but I know that. But your lack of sophistication in these matters is beyond the pale. You insist that the truth is more important than anything else. Would you say the same if you knew the real value of the truth is? What are you trying to say? When you get to my level, you don't uncover the truth. You make it little by little. Kay Faraday, murderer, that's the truth. The truth I created. Yes, my boys, that's what I'd like to see. This isn't justice. You are so sincere sometimes, it's painful. It just makes me want to put you in your place. Knowing the real truth will get you nowhere. Because that's how much it's worth. Nothing. Shocking, I know. why not go after the real killer? How much do you even know about what really happened? You're not getting it. That's your truth. And it's worthless. Mine is all that matters. You understand what I'm saying, don't you, Mr. Ex-Prosecutor? I have all the power here. Curse you. Well, aren't you menacing? You and your little friend are just as bad as each other. Violent criminals who deserve to be locked up. You'll pay for this. With what? Was that? Yet another person disappears from my life. Oh, it just makes me want to cry and cry and cry. Not planning to disappear just yet. Chairman Winner. There's still a hearing later today. Just you wait. One way or another, I'll prove case innocence to the world then. Yeah, DK, you missed a lot. 10 members. Over a majority are present. I hereby call this hearing into order. We're gathered here today to assess the professional competency of Prosecutor Miles Edwards. Excuse me, I'm not a prosecutor. Shut up. Here, in sight of the goddess, we do solemnly swear to pass fair and frank judgment. Fair and frank. Don't make me laugh. Verdi, if you would be so kind as to summarize the case against Mr. Edgeworth. On April 5th, despite having been advised of the illegality of an investigation he was conducting, the accused refused to desist and eventually had to be detained by myself and Chairman Winner. His actions compromised the investigation into the murder of a certain defense attorney. And despite having been presented with copious evidence of her guilt, he continues to insist that the suspect, one K. Faraday, is innocent of all charges. Perhaps you could explain the details of the murder to us as well. Of course. On the morning of the 5th, the body of the victim was found here in the committee chamber. Further explanation will be provided by me, Eustace Winner, Premier Prosecutor. The floor is yours, Mr. Winner. The murder itself happened late on the night of the 4th. The victim was Miss Rosie Ring. So is it all of the committee that was here for it? Same night, an illicit auction was held here in this very room. Rinker took part in that auction, I think. Yeah. And the murder took place sometime during the auction. When she was found, Rinker was dressed in an outfit that matched the description of the auctioneers. However, due to the fact that the auctioneer carried on after the murder had occurred, deduced that Ringo was not in fact the auctioneer. You deduced nothing of the sort. And what about the basis for which the suspect was detained, Mr. Winner? Yeah, I got this. So Faraday was overcome by crushing remorse, Eustace. Yeah, that. Tons of crushing remorse. So she confessed. According to her confession, she was on the roof of this building when she encountered a person in a red raincoat on the viewing platform. That person was Mr. Ringo, I take it. Precisely, Mr. Chairman. The killer dressed the victim in the auctioneer's outfit after that fact. But at the time she was killed, Miss Ringo was wearing a red raincoat. You want to race to find that raincoat nearby? Me, that's who. did you? I thought it was somebody from forensics. Strictly speaking, it was found by one of the forensic investigators under Mr. Winner's command. I knew it. Blood announced on the raincoat show. It was indeed Miss Ringer's blood who'd warned. Miss Ringer's who was warned. And the suspect's confession was the final nail to coffin. She confirmed having committed the murder. So as you can see, Kay Faraday was the killer. There's no way anybody else could have done it. Alright, Miles. I expect you to have some objections, so let's hear them all. Let's get them out of the way, shall we? I have no objections, Chairman Winner. Well now, is that so? I thought it would take more than a single night. No objections in the matter of my unauthorized investigation, that is. But in the matter of Miss Faraday's supposed guilt, I have plenty.
Overruled.
I can personally attest to the fact that Mr. Winner's investigation was fair and impartial. Of course it was. When it comes to carefully conducted ops, I'm the winner every time. You know, Miles, it was in my power to offer you a plea deal of sorts. And this is purely hypothetical, of course. You were to withdraw your objections. You might wake up tomorrow to find yourself the proud owner of a seat on this committee. Really? So I ask you again, do you have any objections, Mr. Edgeworth? And if you think you can buy my silence, think again. You will watch your mouth. Only if the chairman watches his. I didn't come here to talk about committee seats. I came here to talk about the murder case. I demand a statement under oath, and I won't rest until I have one. I want to know exactly what the committee's view on this is. You want to put us on trial, my boy? Very well. It will make you happy. Verdi, please provide Mr. Edwards with the materials pertaining to the case. Really? But sir... This will be his last hurrah, so let's humor him with a send-off he desires. If you say so, Mr. Chairman. Evidence data received from Judge Cavell. Come on, game. Stop skipping. You have no objections to Verdi representing the committee, I assume? None whatsoever. Let's make sure the evidence hasn't been tampered with. Can't look closer at the red raincoat. Mr. Edgeworth. Don't worry, Kay. Everything will be fine. You'll see. Miss Ringer attended the auction as a potential buyer. The red raincoat was one of the items up for sale. Wait. No, it's not the same red coat. Wait. It would be nice if we could investigate it. Is this the red raincoat that Shelly the Killer was wearing? Is that what this was? So assumption is that after winning and paying for it, she left the auction with her purchase. The only exit from the storeroom was, of course, the hatch leading up to the roof. After she emerged into the viewing platform, that's when Miss Ringer was attacked by Miss Faraday. Shortly thereafter, her flame went out, and this concludes the committee's view of the case. The raincoat was on offer that night. Is that really true? We believe so, yes. You remember the failed assassination attempt on the president of Zengfa, I assume. The raincoat is a piece of evidence from that case. The scores have remained safely under lock and key in the appropriate facility. So it is that coat. But our inquiries revealed that it did in fact go missing under the mysterious circumstances. And wound up in the auction long with everything else. That makes sense, I suppose. Wonderful work, Verity. Just wonderful. Crystal clear as ever. You flatter me, sir. Now, Mr. Edgeworth, perhaps you could save us all some time and simply admit defeat. I'll do no such thing, thank you very much. Very well. It's good to know that you still have some fight in you. It is. Why? Come to think of it, she said some strange things when she visited me this morning, too. What exactly is she up to?
Hold it!
I feel like we can't mention there is more than one way out of that room. Miss Ringo was a member of the committee. Could you not have left the committee chamber via the main door? While the auction was still underway? That would risk exposing the existence of those outside the trusted circle of attendees. Given that Miss Hart found out about it, I think its existence is already well and exposed. The rules of the auction stated the attendees were to enter and leave via the hatch and motive. Miss Ringo had no reason to not follow those rules. And given where the murder took place, you know that she must have done so.
Hold it!
But why? What possible motive would Kay have? That's exactly what we are hoping to establish in our upcoming interviews with Miss Faraday. Coercive interrogation after the fact. Something you seem to specialize in. The murderer knew the attendees would all be leaving via the hatch. Then the roof would have been the perfect place to lie in wait. So I was saying, after she had emerged onto the viewing platform, that's when Miss Ringo was attacked.
Hold it!
Her flame went out. The flame of her life, Mr. Edgeworth. Though perhaps her flame was stolen from her is more apt.
Objection!
But the candelabra that extinguished her life was one of the auction ones. Meaning Kay had no way of getting a hold of it to begin with.
Overruled!
Miss Faraday could not have lain in wait for the victim without knowing of the storeroom's existence. She could easily have slipped down the ladder and stolen it while the auction was underway. Nope, not possible. If only we knew the candle holder was where the candle holder was during the auction. So sure to be the clear the matter of no, well, either view. Sadly, we don't have anything that could tell us that much on the front of that moment. Forgive me, sir. There is something we are hoping to establish through further investigation. Well, isn't that a shame, mouse boy? See, this is line of inquiry is something of a dead end, isn't it? So the theory is that the victim and her killer met on the roof, and that's where the murder took place. In other words, it assumes the viewing platform was the scene of the crime. But is that really the case? Solid evidence that clearly shows the story of what happened that night. Time to double check. Okay. So... Wait. Why is there already blood on her hand? Maybe this is what it's referring to?
Objection!
Yeah, because there's already blood on her at this time. So it means she was already attacked. Maybe you can clear something up for me, Judge Cavell. But what is Miss Hart doing here at this hearing? She is an eyewitness. I thought it would be obvious. Well, now, I ain't really an eyewitness, more of an ear witness, I guess. She's not exactly the most confidence-inspiring choice to help you make your case, is she? I'd like to think I choose my allies a little more carefully than you, Mr. Edgeworth. Then you should question them more thoroughly, because there's something that she hasn't told you. Take a look at this. It's a photo taken by Miss Hart. Yes, in the storeroom, correct? What of it? According to your theory, the murder occurred up on the roof. But according to Miss Hart's testimony, she happened to witness the entire incident unfold in the storeroom. Just before she took this picture. Wait, Gabriel got it. Wrong. That's exactly what I'm saying. What? Miss Hart, if I may confirm your account of the events you witnessed that night. You saw the person in the picture, correct? I sure did. Clear as day. And on my own 2 eyes to boot. And what were your impressions at that point? My impressions? That right there is the scoop of the century. Something like that. Yeah, that makes sense. I was hoping more of your impressions of the person in question. Oh, and there's a walking meal ticket. Seriously? Well, just my little joke. Don't you look at me like I'm done sat on your lunch. Well, red raincoat, right? Well, I took one look in. I thought it was purple art. And therein lies the rub. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, when will you learn to use your words? If it's an explanation of the facts that you require, you need only ask, you know. What do you mean? I assume you're about to raise the issue of the voices Miss Hart heard. Voices that may be unrelated.
Objection!
Unrelated. You can do better than that. Was one of the voices Miss Hart heard really even Miss Ringus? You're kidding me, right? Them folks were talking crime-related turkey. Well, my name ain't lot of dang hot. Ah, but you did hear them clearly. Well, can't rather say that for sure, but... Yeah, I can't rather say nothing and you know it. They were using voice tingers. I done told you that. Precisely. Miss Hart heard voices, but those voices were disguised. Which means we cannot even be certain that whatever she did over here had anything to do with the murder.
Objection!
You don't need to yell objection in order to sigh at me, Mr. Edgeworth. It seems I clearly do, because this is all bullcrap. It seems I overestimated you, Judge Gavel. Nonsense. Verdi's the best of us, my boy. The very best. And yet she believes that what Miss Hart heard might not have had anything to do with the murder. Even supposing that's the case, it doesn't prove that the murder didn't happen in the storeroom. The incident happened before the victim was able to go up to the roof. That much we can say for certain. And I can tell you why. This proves the incident happened before the victim went up to the roof.
Take that!
We initially thought that the person in the red raincoat was the culprit. Yeah, because Miss Hart said as much. Indeed, she rolls about the blood she saw in the person's hand. And I doubt many people would have thought differently given her testimony. Ergo, this person is the killer. Ergo, if this person is the killer, then the blood we see would have been from when they attacked the victim. But knowing what we know now, that this person is in fact a victim, it recontextualizes everything. The presence of blood still shows that the picture was taken after the attack. But now it tells us something very important about the victim too. There's no doubt in my mind that the victim was attacked in the storeroom. But here we have photographic evidence of her standing upright and alive, albeit with a bloody hand. This can only mean that Miss Ringo survived the attack. Blood on her hand is from the wound she had sustained. What are you talking about? Who dies from a hand wound? The wound wasn't on her hand, Mr. Winter. I imagine she had used her hand to try and staunch the wound. That's right. It was impossible to tell from this angle. The victim was already mortally wounded here. Well, that certainly would change things, wouldn't it? It very much would. Not at least by making it absurd to suggest that Kay was the attacker. Her encounter with the victim happened after this picture had been taken. After the victim had already been attacked and was in critical condition. I put it to you all, to you that all Kay witnessed was the victim finally succumbing to her wounds. That would have been quite the coincidence. It's a textbook case of wrong place, wrong time, I'd say. You seem to be forgetting a rather important fact, Mr. Edquist. Well, that or pretend not to remember it. What fact am I forgetting? I think it's time to wrap things up, don't you, Verity? Put the boy out of his misery. Bro, you're just all of a sudden like, oh, nope, we're done. Nope, let's wrap this up. Bro. Dad, Gavelle works for me. Why do you keep giving her orders? That's my job. You really are a total and utter embarrassment. I'm not. I hate to break it to you, but you both are. Go for it, Gavelle. Put Edgeworth out of his misery. As you wish, Eustace son. Miss Ringo's body was found with 3 wounds in her chest. We all know what those wounds were from, don't we? That's right, they're from when she was stabbed in the chest by a 3-armed candelabra. That anybody could survive such a grave wound. If you care to read the coroner's report, I'm sure you would change your tune. Nicely done, Gavelle. Now it was make several objections. Yes, I'm afraid I will. What? Why? Weren't you listening? Oh, I was listening. Very carefully, in fact. Hence my objections. Come on, why do you always have to undermine me? That's never my intention, I assure you. You're just an idiot who makes foolish mistakes, and I see through them easily. Huh? It isn't? Because you do it so well to yourself every single time already. Of course it isn't. Yeah, I knew that. Because I'm... Please, Eustace. Stop. For God's sakes, you've already embarrassed me enough. Huh? What do you mean, Dad? He really doesn't want this continuing.
Hold it!
And you're sure the stabs to the chest were the cause of death. There's no doubt about that. None. One of the spikes of the candelabra even pierced the victim's heart. And unless you mean to call Dr. Hurt's professional opinion into question, we can only treat that as fact. Coroner's opinion is backing up my own winning ones? Now that's what I call a flawless victory. Well, I'm certainly not about to ignore the coroner's findings. Hey, what about my findings? You can just ignore them. I can and will. But if the cause of death really was the puncture wounds to the chest from the candelabra, that would seem to contradict one of the pieces of evidence we gathered. He's not just going to ignore my findings, he's ignoring me. Do something, Gavelle. As you wish. At the very least, I will ensure that he cannot ignore my own conclusions. Cause of death is a set of 3 puncture wounds on the left side of the chest inflicted by a candle holder. Well done for reading, Mr. Edgeworth. The report forms the basis of my own conclusions. In other words, if I disprove what it says, I'll disprove your conclusions too. You have the strangest sense of humor, but I wouldn't mind seeing you try. However, before you do, I would advise you to read the report very carefully. After all, I'm not interested in your opinions, only in solidly grounded deductions. Very well, I shall have my deductions. Mr. Edgeworth? Don't worry, Kay. Everything will be alright. I need to find something to prove that the victim was still alive and breathing immediately after the attack. If I can't, Kay's fate will be sealed. Oh, wait. There should be holes in the coat. If she was wearing this coat at the time of the attack, there should be holes in it, right?
Objection!
I was so focused on, like, the stuff was blood. I was like, wait. Duh. Chairman winner. You know what this is, of course. The red raincoat, that's right. Isn't it very? Yes, sir. The one Ringo was wearing. I warn you, Mr. Edgeworth. You will not be thanked for retreating old grounds here. Well, I'm afraid I might have to, regardless. Now then, if you'll answer me this, Judge Cavell. You told us that the victim's bloodstains were found on the coat. Do you remember where exactly they were found? Of course. They were found on the hood. What's the matter, Pharaoh? The hood, and was the blood found anywhere near the anywhere else on the raincoat? No, it was not. Doesn't that strike you as odd? The victim died of a stab wound to the chest. Wouldn't that lead one to expect the bloodstains in that area? And yet, there was blood only on the hood. That's a glaring contradiction if I ever saw one. The head wound the victim suffered wasn't just some incidental injury. It was inflicted before the stab wound to her chest. Perhaps you are correct. The victim did sustain a head injury first. As you said, if she had been stabbed first, there should be blood in the chest area of the raincoat. Therefore, Miss Ringo can't have been stabbed before the head injury had been inflicted on her. But the report also said the head injury was post-mortem. So that's a lie. So we can't trust the autopsy report anymore. Even if we concede this point, the head injury came before the chest wound. What difference would it make? How does it change our understanding of the case? It means the report is false. I'd say it changes things a great deal. In fact, it raises an even more fundamental contradiction. That is quite the bold claim, Mr. Edgeworth. I have to admit, you have me intrigued. Perhaps you could show us this fundamental contradiction with some evidence. What piece of evidence best demonstrates the contradiction in the order of the injuries? This is Dr. Hurt's preliminary findings, according to which the victim suffered a head injury post-mortem. But the order suggested by the bloodstains on the raincoat is exactly the opposite. Yes. Bailiff, the court hereby subpoenas Dr. Hilda Hertz to the committee chamber with all due haste. Wait. So she's obviously involved. She's not the killer, is she? There's no way she's the killer, right? Yes, Your Honor. Go fetch her at once.